Conference schedules opening up around the country. VCU and head coach Shaka Smart welcome Lehigh CJ McCollum, the nation's leading scorer, in a non-conference matchup. But he's not the only prolific shooter in the house. Nobody is hotter from three-point range than VCU's Troy Daniels. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Dave Strader along with Dave Kaplan, another sellout crowd, and 32-plus NBA scouts and front office personnel are here. Why? CJ McCollum, the nation's leading scorer. How does he perform in this kind of an environment?
He's the leading scorer at 25.7 points per game because he has a scorer's mentality. But what they want to see, they know he can make shots. How does he handle high leverage, high stress situations, playing against Havoc, where he's going to be double and triple teamed at times? He's the leading all-time scorer in the history of the Patriot League. He could have come out a year ago. He said, we have unfinished business.
Well, you mentioned the Havoc, of course, that Shaka Smart has made famous here at VCU, but we're going to look at the offensive side. Troy Daniels, I don't think anybody's ever had a stretch of 27 made threes in 3 games.
He is so hot that anytime he comes across half court, Shaka Smart said he believes it's going in. His teammates feed off of that. They know he's going to make his shots more often than not, and they're looking
and of course their head coach Shaka Smart in his 4th year, and look at that terrific winning percentage that he has put up since taking over the top spot back in 2009. The officiating crew for this matchup here this afternoon: Gary Prager, John Hughes, Lionel Butler handling the action. Lehigh dressed in their brown and white. VCU in their white with black trim. And we are underway. Redick controls it easily for VCU, and here is Theus, who is the heart and soul, the pulse of this VCU team. As Shaka Smart told us this afternoon, he is the player that's most closely an extension of him as a coach on the floor. And they go inside, and Redick unable to finish after a terrific feed inside.
Just didn't have his feet under him and tried to dunk it, and the rim got in the way.
Lehigh looking to get inside with a quick hands. It was knocked away by Theus. Treveon Graham, high floater is no good. And important for Lehigh to get to the glass. That's one area where they have struggled statistically. They have been out-rebounded by their opponents.
And they're going to ask their best player, CJ McCollum. He is going to have to help on the glass tonight.
Knutson, Reiner now swings it, and there's a turnover. 2nd turnover already.
Watch on the missed dunk. Great feed, but he just didn't have his feet under him to get his elevation. Normally, he rips the rim down.
Redick has been terrific lately, averaging just under 19 in his last 3 games. After he went through a 3-game stretch where his production was down. Treveon Graham, he can get to the rim, and he can also do that, but he's off the mark. Collum, skip pass. Griner from 3, knocks it down. Holden Griner, the senior out of Traverse City, Michigan.
We were at practice this morning, and Coach Reed said, watch 20. He is going to get open looks 1-for-1.
Here is Daniels. Right now it is Anthony Durazio, the junior point guard. Inside here is Treveon Graham. He lays it off the glass and in, and that sets up the full court press. Difficult pass, but some contact was made as Griner went up.
We've worked games in here before when it gets out of control early for the opponent. Griner here gets a wide open look. 2 defenders fly over to pick up McCollum. It leaves him open. Numbers, Lehigh recognized it. But when you've got a guy like Mackie McKnight, number 11, it calms everyone down. He can handle the ball.
Griner with a ball fake. Great look underneath, and it's laid up and in by Gabe Knutson, who's coming off a 7-point down performance in that home loss against Bryant after he had put up 28 the game before, and now VCU turns it over.
Folks at home, this is the Lehigh club that knocked out Duke in the NCAA tournament, a 15-over-2. They can flat out play.
4 starters returning from that team that was just the 6th 15 seed to beat a 2 seed. And McKnight, good change of pace to get some separation, and that's not easy to do against Briante Weber. who has so much energy. McKnight into the lane, spins, loses his footing, and he's called for the travel. And already the third turnover.
Here he comes. He just lost his footing, and that's going to happen. He is going to have the ball in his hands a huge number of minutes tonight. They're going to ask him to play more than he normally plays, which is sometime in the low 30s. They need him to go almost 40 minutes.
Daniels has not had an open look yet. Treveon Graham thought about the three. 15 on the shot clock as Theus pulls it back out. Daniels puts it on the floor. That's a long two. It's good.
Anthony D'Orazio got the first shot at defending him, and he said today, I'm going to do the best I can. He's a great shooter, but I'm going to be physical with him. There, he didn't have a lot of daylight, but he made the shot.
He set an Atlantic 10 record with 11 threes made in their win at East Tennessee State. Troy Daniels, he was 11 for 20 from the floor, all from beyond the arc. As Knutson spins and gets away from Redick and lays it in.
That's 2 buckets for him down on the low block. VCU is going to have to make a decision if they're going to send a second man to help on the post.
Daniels got some separation, knocks down the three, and the hot shooting continues for Troy Daniels. And he is right in front of us, and he is looking at D'Orazio, who's guarding him, and he just said all night.
There's nothing more dangerous than a shooter with ability who believes every time he takes a shot, it's going in.
Rob Brandenburg, the junior guard from Ohio, into the ball game along with that young man, DJ Haley, as Redick and Weber both take a seat. VCU will run 9, 10, sometimes 11 guys at you. They've got that kind of depth. Brandenburg and Haley after McKnight. Griner for the three that is short. Offensive rebound by Knutson. McCollum wide open. Unable to connect, but chased down once again by Lehigh. D'Orazio, the short two-pointer, could knock it down.
Got 3 opportunities. They'll take that every time, and they'll make their shots.
Goal basket. Theus looking at the official, but the foul was called on the way. Keeping it going. It's part of a process, isn't it, Cap?
He says the shooting process, if you respect the process will respect you. It's be ready to shoot, shoot with proper mechanics, shoulders over toes, and hold your follow through. How many guys let it go, but they don't finish? There you go. He is as good a three-point shooter as there is in the country, and he really now is looking to shoot. Talking with Coach Smart, he said his first couple of years here, the upperclassmen were brutal on him. Today, we're all over him because he takes too many shots during practice. He said now it's his club. He's an upperclassman, and he understands where to get his opportunities.
Tie ball game, and that's significant because VCU is so used to playing with the lead. Better than 73% of the time over the course of the season, they have had the lead. As Treveon Graham with a mid-range shot, and he gets the shooter's roll. McCollum, Theus on him. This is what the NBA scouts will be looking at. McCollum kind of mouthing the words thank you as he looks at the official. A lot of contact, a lot of pressure when you play against this VCU team. And a lot of times, Cap, a team that plays the way VCU does, Shaka Smart's going to be concerned. How are the officials going to call the game? How much are they going to let go?
Well, he just looked at the official who made the call, and he held up 2. He said that's twice because they've gotten 2 calls in Havoc, in full court pressure. Both have gone Lehigh's way.
Corey Schaefer, number 15, the backup point guard in the ball game. Griner drives. He's had a nice start here.
He's the guy Coach Brett Reed said he's going to be a big key for us tonight. There's a travel because he rushed his shot. Graham saw a little daylight. He rushed, shuffled his feet. But here's Griner. This is a big-time move. Nice fake. The big guy, Haley, comes by him, and he takes what the defense gives him. He understood where the line of truth, moment of truth was, and let it go.
So Griner and Knutson have combined for all 9 of Lehigh's points.
NBA scouts watching this matchup right now. Can he handle the ball and run an offense?
It's knocked away. Daniels picks it up. Brandenburg open from beyond the arc, knocks it down. Lehigh got it out of the basket and inbounds very quickly. And a nice bounce pass there. Conroy Baltimore, number 44, who was checked in, didn't appear to be ready for it. Treveon Graham for 3. Some contact after the shot. Officials let it go. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by the Rams. Lehigh basketball.
In talking with Brett Reed, the Lehigh head coach today at shoot-around, he said we cannot get caught up in multiple possessions back-to-back where we let them impose their will. You saw a turnover as McCollum couldn't get them initiated into their offense. They came down and scored. VCU went to the other way. Another turnover. And now it's back to Lehigh. They've got to stem the flow right now.
Brett Reed, the son of a coach. His dad, Lynn Reed, was a high school and a college coach, won a national title at the Division II junior college level. Schaefer, McCollum stepped into that shot, but hasn't been able to knock one down yet. The nation's leading scorer at just under 26 points per game. And Weber tried to force that, and it went out of bounds.
Tough pass from the high angle. You want to take it more to the wing and then bounce it when you have the defender on the backside.
And the interesting thing, too, talking to Brett Reed this morning, is that ball deflected away. And what do we got?
Jump ball, alternate possession.
Okay. But his dad, Lynn, was a pressing coach. That was the way he had success and won his national title. And when you asked him, well, is that why you know what to do against this kind of pressure? He wasn't ready to take that kind of credit, knowing that Shaka Smart's team brings a different kind of pressure. He told us this is a very unique team to prepare for.
He said he's never seen a team that thrives on playing defense more than offense.
Great ball movement here by Lehigh. Reddick comes over. He'll pick up the foul. But at least 4, if not all 5 Lehigh players touch this ball.
This is outstanding teamwork. That's unselfish basketball. That's the way you beat Havoc, by moving it. Touch pass, gone. Touching my hands, gone. Before defenders can get there.
Conroy Baltimore is a sophomore out of the Bronx who plays about 14, 15 minutes a game, but you know when you come into this environment, we talked about the fact, Cap, that VCU plays a lot of guys. I mean, you look at these numbers, what makes the numbers, for example, of Troy Daniels even more incredible is he only plays 23, 24, 25 minutes. They don't have guys that play 32, 33. So when you come in here, you're a Lehigh that has 4 guys that normally play 30. You're probably going to get more guys off the bench that are going to play some minutes.
It's a great point. Briante Weber, among the best steal men in the country, 21 minutes a game.
Yeah, exactly. Dangerous pass, but Graham had enough on it to get it to Weber. Now Brandenburg will try the 3 that hit the front rim. Reddick, I think he pushed off. Yep. That is the second on Javante Reddick.
Gave a shove inside. Lehigh's an excellent rebounding team. And there you can see the body of Baltimore go flying, and Briante Weber reacting, saying, what?
There's the trap. Knight got it to Knutson. Now Schaefer to McCollum, and he is fouled on his way through.
VCU coaching staff does not like the trend here early of what the officials are going to call. They are used to being able to play hockey-style basketball. When I say that, it's the clutch and grab, the little bump. What you can get away with leads to havoc.
I like the hockey reference, Cap, bringing it on a day when there's a lot of optimism on what's going on with the CBA talks, at least in the Twitter world, with the media folks that are there on the scene in New York. Take a look at the team foul situation. Lehigh with only one team foul. VCU already with 5. Here's McCollum, who is 0 for 2 from the floor. Knutson with the awkward-looking delivery. He can knock it down from there. Wasn't able to that time, and VCU with the 1-point lead. Brandenburg protects the ball. Strong to the basket, laid it in.
Spectacular dribble drive. Nobody rotated over. He had the clear path to the basket.
Now McKnight. There's Knutson helping out. This is something we saw Duke do in the battle for Atlantis. They used their big guys a lot in handling the pressure. Nice spin move. McCollum off the glass, no good. Nearly taken back by McCollum, and now it belongs to the Rams. Treveon Graham hands it off to Deontay Weber. Brandenburg being watched by McCollum. Graham. Melvin Johnson, who has checked in an air ball from the corner.
VCU a little out of sync right now offensively. Really not crisp.
McKnight got in the air. And that's dangerous against this defense, especially if you're undersized. Weber looks back at Coach Smart to see what he wants on this possession. Now Johnson. Graham rattles in and out. Good job by Melvin Johnson on the offensive glass. Puts it up, no good, but he's fouled. CJ McCollum has found it tough, as a lot of scorers do against Havoc. Well, the scouts are here to see CJ McCollum. You used to be a scout, Cap. What have we seen so far?
He's gotten a couple of good looks, and he hasn't made them. No big deal. He'll get hot. But the third one here, when he attacks, DJ Haley's going to fly at him. That's a 7-footer. He had a man to his left in the corner wide open. Better decision-making. Now, I scouted for 4 years in the NBA. This is what you look for. Is the player projectable at his position? He's a scorer here. Can he be a scorer at the next level? And if he cannot, do you then think he can become a point guard? Playing with court awareness and understanding, you have to see him multiple times to determine that. How does he handle high-stress situations like playing at VCU with the defensive intensity they give you? How about his athletic ability and his quickness and his professional character? That is Sam Presti. That's the GM of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are all over the building here. 32 in all, including Gar Forman, the general manager of the Chicago Bulls. Walt Perrin, the player personnel director of the Utah Jazz.
They had 58 scouts reportedly that asked for credentials for the game at North Texas. The only game that CJ McCollum has missed in his career. He suffered an ankle sprain prior to that game, so did not play.
That's the life of a scout, when you show up at a game because nobody communicates to you that somebody was out with an injury. In fact, this before texting and Twitter and all that in the 80s when I started, we didn't have any capability. You show up, you go, where's the guy?
Yeah, exactly. All right, a couple of free throws, and VCU up by 5. And McCollum waving off his teammates. He wants to go one-on-one, but then Daniels jumps in quickly. McCollum able to go over the top of the foul of Brandenburg. And McCollum and Schaefer in the ball game together in the backcourt. Here's McCollum up with the left hand and draws the contact.
He's trying to take over a bit. In the backcourt, he said, give me the ball and get out of my way. He was able to advance it into the front court. He got them reset, and then he was able to attack. That was a pretty good possession for him here.
McCollum is an 84% free throw shooter. Every weekday morning, join renowned sports personality Dan Patrick for first-class sports talk and more mischief than any show on the air. The Dan Patrick Show, weekdays from 9 to noon Eastern, right here on the NBC Sports Network. And McCollum knocks down both free throws.
We watched shoot-around for both teams today. CJ McCollum can flat out shoot it. You give him a sliver of daylight, it's more often than not going in.
Graham to the basket short, and there's McCollum getting in and helping on the glass. Double team. Trying to pull it away from Brandenburg. He's looking for a timeout. He asked for a timeout 2 or 3 times, and finally I think they acknowledge Coach Reed on the bench.
Lehigh, 30 seconds.
We'll step away with a timeout from Lehigh. VCU by 3. Well, every team is going to focus their scouting report when they play Lehigh around CJ McCollum, and he faces a lot of pressure.
Well, he's getting mugged right there. I mean, there's a lot of physical play, and he keeps asking for the timeout, and nobody saw him. And finally, it was granted when Brett Reed was yelling, get us a timeout. But if they're going to let it play that physical, it's going to be tough on him to get some opportunities.
Knutson backing his man down, soft with the left hand, tipped up, no good. Griner again puts it up. 3 opportunities, second time at least capped. But the Mountain Hawks have had 3 pops at it. Daniels steps into the 3, some contact. And underneath, a foul is called as Daniels were talking to one official out on the perimeter, the official underneath.
Knutson. That is his
Second on Knutson, and boy, the way this Lehigh team has been getting production from Knutson and Griner, they can't afford to lose either one of these young men for any extended period of time. But for now, Knutson will sit down.
But you're in a tight ball game, you have to sit him with 2 here.
Now Weber approaching the halfway mark of this first half. Lehigh comes in with a record of 9-3, as I mentioned, coming off a home loss against Bryant, 80-79. Snapped an 8-game win streak for a Lehigh team that's going to be one of the favorites in the Patriot League, along with Bucknell. Daniels the 3, that was right on line, but was long. So he's missed his last 2 after hitting his first one from beyond the arc. Nice little handle displayed there by Schaefer. Bounce pass underneath, doesn't connect. It's turned over again by the Mountain Hawks.
Very tough to make an interior pass, bouncing it in there with all those bodies.
Weber no good from 3. Schaefer with a nice box out of his man, but nobody picked up Treveon Graham, and he lays it in.
We got to get Mackie McKnight back in this game. He is the guy that can handle pressure.
And now B.J. Bailey, number 10, is in the ballgame. He's been battling some injuries early in the season. McCollum with a step back. He got some separation, but unable to knock it down. Brandenburg with a nice rush up the court, and it's slapped away by Bailey. Here's Daniels for 3, and he knocks it down.
Things getting away from Lehigh a bit. They are a little out of sync offensively. They got beat by numbers coming back the other way, and this guy's the best 3-point shooter in the country.
Troy Daniels' last 6 games coming into this one, 41 of 80. Has made 7 or more threes in 4 of those 6 games, including that A-10 record, 11. And the victory over East Tennessee State. Knutson.
They've got Mackie McKnight back in. They're so much more in sync offensively when he's on the court.
And as you say that, Weber knocks the ball free. And VCU has it again, another turnover. Eighth turnover committed by the Mountain Hawks. 12-4 run by VCU. Elvin Johnson with the floater that is no good.
Knutson playing with 2 fouls. Very risky, but you're down 8 now. You're trying to keep this thing close and then make your run late.
Now Bailey, who did a terrific job in that NCAA win over Duke, going against Austin Rivers. McKnight under pressure, short. Haley with a rebound. Theus, Daniels, he thought about it. Floater for the baseline. Not an easy shot there for Melvin Johnson, the freshman out of the Bronx.
And it lets him set up Havoc again. And we haven't seen that little bit of a run where they get a couple backcourt turnovers. They're going to try and crank it up right here.
Now McCollum, and some contact there. And that is going to be the 7th-team foul. So Lehigh will be shooting when we come back to Richmond.
We are going to wreak havoc on our opponent's psyche and their plan of attack.
Well, that's where the term Havoc was born at the introductory press conference, and here's great examples of it, Cap.
They want to disrupt everything you want to do offensively and defensively. Their offense, high octane. They are pushing the tempo. You're not comfortable. And defensively, they'll go as far as the officials will allow them to play in a physical manner. It takes you out of your comfort zone, makes it very tough on you for the entire 40 minutes. In fact, I believe it wears you out before you ever get to the arena. As you prepare at school, as you get on the plane or the bus to get here, you start thinking about Havoc. Got to make sure we take care. It's mentally draining.
0 for 4 is the leading scorer in the nation. CJ McCollum going to the free throw line. And interesting, too, to hear that soundbite from the press conference when he talked about wreaking havoc on the psyche of opponents, because that's what Coach Reed of Lehigh told us this afternoon when he was talking about the 3 or 4 keys. The last thing he said was mental toughness when the pressure causes problems. You know you're going to have a turnover or two, but he said, as the son of a pressing coach, as we mentioned, he said, I know how quickly one mistake can become 2, can become 3. So those are the runs you try to limit.
All right, you look up, it was 16-13. All of a sudden, it was 23-13 prior to those free throws. That's how quick things happen.
We'll see what the Mountain Hawks can do at the defensive end. Mentioned that B.J. Bailey, number 10, is in there for Lehigh, watching Weber. 8 on the shot clock. Brandenburg out near midcourt. Drives hard to the lane, switches to the right hand, puts it in.
That is a tough shot across his body through the lane. Second time that Lehigh has not stopped penetration.
Good spacing by Lehigh that time inside, and boy, not strong with it though, Knutson, but he gets it back, lays it up, no good. That's 3 good opportunities right at the rim that Lehigh has not been able to complete. Offensive foul called against Jared Guest, the sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina, who was checked in for Shaka Smart.
Well, that goes back to John Adams, the head of the NCAA officials, preaches RSBQ, rhythm, speed, balance, quickness. And if you interrupt one of those, you're going to get nailed. He clipped a guy at the top of the key, thus the foul. 8-team foul against VCU. As Haley comes into the ball game, and Daniels will take a seat. Daniels sits down with 8 points on 3 of 5 shooting. He has hit 2 out of 4 from beyond the arc. Well, McCollum isolating, turn, difficult baseline shot is no good. Knutson had it, lost it. And Melvin Johnson controls for the Rams. Another offensive foul.
Yeah, this one against Haley. He knocked Griner down.
Give the officials credit. This is a tough environment. It's a really tough, physical, quick game. And they are making sure they're on top of everything. They're not going to let you get away with something. Shaka told us today about CJ McCollum, who he had in his camps when he was the assistant at Akron. He said, I remember him. He was a skinny kid, great kid. No one could have projected he'd be as good as he is.
McKnight coming back to help out, but Weber was right on his tail. And that is going to be a backcourt violation, as Johnson did not get back into the front court and establish himself before he touched the ball.
I believe Johnson came out of the backcourt, and both feet have to make contact into the front. You have to reestablish your position in the front court. That led to the over and back call.
Boy, Weber does that as well as any defender in the country. And he'll trail behind a ball handler or somebody that's looking to receive a pass. And then at the last second, bang, he just jumps in there. Now McCollum. Durazio, who's back on the ball game, knocks it down. So good piece of offense there by the backcourt. McCollum and Durazio. VCU comes right back, and on the offensive glass, it's out of bounds. The last touch by Lehigh. And McCollum, I mentioned, he missed the game at North Texas State a couple of weeks ago with a bad ankle, and he's obviously favoring something as he limps around there. And he is going to come out.
He takes the place of CJ McCollum.
And he pulls up there a little bit. He tweaked something.
Many times you will go get that re-wrapped. We'll see what the training staff does with him.
We have 32 empty seats here.
Graham against the smaller McKnight. Brandenburg. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Johnson into the lane. Nice cut by Graham. Had to change the shot with Knutson closing in. But he did so effectively.
Tremendous pass, though, to set it all up. But Treveon Graham finished it inside.
VCU just makes you work so hard just to get the ball over midcourt. Here's Knutson. And that's going to be the 10th team foul against VCU, so a couple of shots coming.
This is an outstanding pass, and now you have to finish. That's a big-time athletic play, but the pass set it all up. To have the vision to see him with 3 brown jerseys around him and then find the cutter coming along the baseline.
You know, Cap, I asked you at the VCU shoot-around, we were talking about all these scouts here to see, McCollum, and now he's, he's having an off game. Now he's on the bench with some kind of an injury. You start looking at some of these underclassmen that you at least start to think, okay, we need to come back and look at this kid either later this year or next year.
You absolutely do. You put him into your database, and some teams have sent multiple people here. Oklahoma City has 3 scouts here, including their general manager. So you all watch CJ McCollum, the guy you came to see, but you do not miss out on someone else on the floor.
Knutson unable to convert at the free throw line on the second one. Teddy Okie-Rafer into the ball game. 3 on the way from Graham was short. Just over 4 minutes to go in this first half. McCollum having an off night. And Lehigh is within single digits. And they close the gap even more as Corey Schaefer knocks down the 3.
Real nice job to go to the short corner, and they found him, and he got his feet set, and he buried it.
Boy, McKnight is saying that should be lead. VCU with a 6-point lead after that last 3-pointer by Corey Schaefer, and this is why Mackie McKnight was upset going to break. He thought it should have been a turnover, and I think he's got a point.
He absolutely has a point. That ball is never touched by number 11 for Lehigh, Mackie McKnight. It should have gone the other way. Instead, VCU catches the break.
Coming up at the halftime report, Vikings Packers analysis with Football Night in America. Dan Packer, Tony Dungy, and Rodney Harrison. We'll also have a preview of the Atlantic 10 Conference. Thanks to my partner, David Kaplan, we've got a nice spot all set up to watch the Football Night in America guys do their thing with the big Packers-Vikings playoff game.
Looking forward to it. We'll have a little crew dinner.
That's what we'll be looking at coming up at the half. VCU basketball.
Meet Brett.
Out of the timeout, they go inside. Reddick started that game with the missed dunk, and there's a long 3 that is short by Troy Daniels.
See?
McKnight wide open for the 3. Holden Griner knocks it down. He's a 47% three-point shooter on the season.
They worked at the morning shoot-around to get him shot opportunities, and he has responded.
Devontae Reddick misses, and here comes Lehigh with a chance to perhaps tie it up on a 7-0 run. Durazio to the baseline, kicks it out. Griner wide open, no good. Okie Raper all the way, races in and lays it up with the left hand and in.
That's 3 times down the middle of the lane. 2 for Brandenburg, 1 for Okie Rafer. Nobody rotates over and stops the ball. Cardinal sin.
Now McKnight in the lane. Nice look underneath and laid up and in by Justin Goldsboro, who has checked into the ball game. A freshman out of Fort Washington, Maryland, 6'8", 207-pounder. Good hands by Durazio and a turnover by VCU. And a chance once again for Lehigh to tie this ball game with under 2 minutes remaining in the half. McKnight got into the air and the ball was knocked away, and the official saying he just simply turned it over.
There's a look at Briante Weber. He is one of my favorite players to watch in the country because of the unbridled enthusiasm he plays with. He is a bundle of energy. Shaka Smart said to us today after shoot-around, we have to settle him down and tell him, take a nap, relax.
And they were just finishing up their shoot-around at 12:30 here. Okie Raper out of control, and he just lost it out of bounds. And nobody had more energy at that practice than Briante Weber. I'll tell you what, Brett Reed has to be very pleased with the way his team has handled this pressure with their leading scorer, the nation's leading scorer, CJ McCollum, not having a field goal on the bench with an injury. Here's a good look at a 3 that is no good. Offensive rebound put back up and in by Durazio.
Nobody on that side of the court, and when you're going to trap, they're going to get numbers at times. It led to a wide open offensive stick back.
Haley on the handoff, Daniels. Okie Raper, 5 on the shot clock in the lane, kicks it out. That is a 2-pointer by Guest that did not draw iron. It's out of bounds. It'll be Lehigh basketball and a chance to take the lead before the end of this half.
With CJ McCollum, if you're just tuning in, leading scorer in the country, on the bench. He has been dealing with a twisted ankle for the last couple of weeks. Looked like he retweaked it, limped over to the bench, and has not shown up yet back on the court.
4 points all at the free throw line. Well, what a nice job there by Mackie McKnight to corral that low, hard inbounds pass.
It's like a goal.
Oh, what a move against Weber, and he lays it in, and Lehigh has the lead at 30-29. Slight difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and as I look at the clocks up to my left here, they're not running, and I think the officials just noticed that.
And they can use the monitor to go back to correct a timing inaccuracy. They can find when the ball went through the basket on the Mackie McKnight move and where the clock should have started. Mackie McKnight is so key. And I know McCollum is the leading scorer in the country, big-time player, but he is so key because he handles pressure so effectively.
Well, McKnight, to your point, as we take a look again at where the clock froze. There it is. But to your point about Mackie McKnight in that game at North Texas when McCollum was out, career-high 25 for McKnight. He was a Patriot League All-Rookie performer as a freshman. As the officials will figure out how much time should be up on the clock. Lehigh with a 1-point lead with around a half a minute remaining here in the first half. And again, coming up on the halftime report, Vikings Packers analysis, Football Night in America crew, Dan Patrick, the coach Tony Dungy, and Rodney Harrison. And we'll also have our preview of the Atlantic 10 Conference and stats from the first half.
You know, one thing that VCU has to handle and discuss, and they did in their game prep, and again at halftime, their previous few opponents, they blew out of the gym. Those teams attacked Havoc passively, almost scared of how are we going to handle this. This is a Lehigh team that does not come in scared. They beat Duke last year in the NCAA tournament in a major upset, and they attack Havoc. They don't try and get across half court and go, we made it. They attack the goal to score.
Now you see Lehigh, the difference in their record when they lead at the half, 9-0, 0-3 when they trail. And the official coming over to the official kindly coming over to give David Kaplan the full rundown of what they were looking at and what they found.
So they retimed how much time should have come off the clock. So they have fixed the clock. 6.8 seconds should have come off, and that is where they will reset the clock.
More college basketball coming your way tomorrow on the NBC Sports Network, 5:30 Eastern. 13th ranked Florida. The Gators are out to test the fight in the Yale Bulldogs. Florida-Yale tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern right here on the NBC Sports Network.
You have to love technology and have the ability to fix an obviously correctable error. And that's what they're able to do now in college basketball in all leagues. And they use the monitor. There are situations when they can use it. Correcting a timing violation or timing error is one of them.
Since CJ McCollum left the game, Cap, with 5:27 on the clock, Lehigh is on a 13-4 run.
And people at home will say, well, why would that be? If he's the best player, why? The reason is you're not looking for him. You're just playing and executing Brett Reed's system. And guys are getting shot opportunities, and it changes VCU's defensive focus.
Absolutely. 15, now 13-12. And Lehigh with fouls to give. That is just their fourth. We might as well disrupt VCU and make them start over again with a sideline out of bounds play, and that allows Lehigh to bring B.J. Bailey, an excellent perimeter defender, into the ball game. As Corey Schaefer sits down. Graham wide open for three. Short. Orazio takes a look at the clock. He got it off. Did McKnight, and unable to hit it from about 30 feet. But what a first half.
If you look at their schedule for Lehigh, they've got Muhlenberg coming up on the 8th. Then they start conference play on the 12th. They're worried about conference play. That's what's important to them.
Reddick, after he had it knocked away by Knutson, has to kick it back outside. Here is Theus. Daniels to Reddick again. Difficult fadeaway shot. Wild shot off the glass, but Grante Weber with the offensive rebound and the basket.
He is a ball of energy. His mom, who's here, says there's not a wall he hasn't bounced off of.
Yeah. Well, you can see McKnight looking over his shoulder as he was dribbling, knowing that he's going to have somebody pursuing him, probably Grante Weber. Now Knutson puts it on the floor. And a good job again by Corey Schaefer. He was pretty effective in the first half coming off the bench.
Grante Weber is the energy this team thrives on. Darius Theus is the extension of the coach, the engine. But that guy right there, to me, is the heart and soul. Breonte Weber plays a million miles an hour.
Schaefer, an 83% free throw shooter, knocks down the first to tie the ball game at 31. Only the fourth time this year that VCU has trailed at the half, and they lost the previous three. They have not lost since the consolation loss against Missouri in the battle for Atlantis. And a sarcastic cheer up from the sellout crowd here.
Personal foul is charged to number 1, Anthony Durancio.
As Durancio picks up the foul, his first.
Shaka Smart recruited throughout the Ivy League, picked Kenyon College because he said, I wanted to play right away. And he did. In fact, he used to play pickup ball with the staff out of season. One of the guys he played all the time against was a 23-year-old admissions counselor by the name of Jed Hoyer, who he said, I remember him. He's now the general manager of the Cubs.
Weber inside, and it's knocked away. It will remain VCU basketball. And I understand Shaka was and is a baseball fan.
Huge Cubs fan. He said my late grandfather had season tickets. He goes, I went 10 times a year at least. He grew up in Madison, Wisconsin. Easy to get to Wrigley.
Looks like they want to get Reddick going and establishing the low post, and he misses again. And it will be Lehigh basketball.
That's a shot Reddick has to make. It's a 3-footer. He had a really good look at the basket. Those are ones he normally knocks down.
I mentioned he's had a good 3-game stretch as he picks up the steal, but he is now 0 for 5 from the floor so far in this ball game. And one of the things Shaka Smart talked about as early as that Battle for Atlantis tournament with Devontae Reddick, he said we're going to be looking for him to be more consistent. He's a double-double waiting to happen every time he steps on the court. He'll set the high screen here. Weber pulls up from 15. Couldn't get it to drop. Mackie McKnight kicks it to the sideline, and Schaefer apparently stepped out of bounds.
When you play at VCU's pace, it forces you out of a comfort zone and into a pace of style that you just really don't want to play at. You can see him right there coming off the sideline. Good job by the officials.
Brett Reed, the head coach of Lehigh, who has his PhD, one of 2 doctors, head coaches in Division I basketball. Daniels, great decision to change his mind on the shot as it would have been blocked, and he was able to find an open teammate.
The other PhD, an A-10 coach, Dr. John Giannini at LaSalle.
Durancio, left hand, difficult floater, tipped out. And Schaefer calmly knocks down the 3.
Great job to have his feet set before the defender could rotate over. Big basket.
Schaefer's hit a couple from beyond the arc. Now he has 6 points. Daniels pulls up from 3, and the Lehigh players got a hand on that. And finally, Devontae Reddick gets a field goal, his first of the afternoon.
That's just being in the right place at the right time. It's going to happen. Just a bad break for Lehigh and a good break for VCU.
Lehigh with a 3-point lead. Knutson wanted the ball. He got it. Good ball fake. Puts it up with the right hand and draws the contact.
Watch the head and shoulder fake. Greatest weapon in the game. Head and shoulder fake. Now he's up. Power it up. He wants that basket. He wants to power it to the rim. But the head and shoulder fake is the most underutilized weapon in the game.
That is the 3rd foul against Devontae Reddick. Knutson came in an 80% free throw shooter. So Reddick will sit down, and the 7-footer DJ Haley back into the ball game, number 33 for the Rams. Knutson knocks down the second of 2. Theus and Brandenburg, along with Daniels. Haley and Graham on the court for Shaka Smart. Graham, the floater, out and rebounded with authority by Holden Griner.
VCU's missing shots that we don't normally see them miss. 4-footers in the lane, they normally convert, especially here in this gym where they're so comfortable.
Traveling violation. The extra step as Haley and Theus closed in for the double team. Shaka Smart's team forces the turnover, but they're down on their home court. And, some pretty interesting names have been the head coach at Lehigh, Tony Packer, the father of longtime commentator Billy Packer, and himself a terrific college player.
And funny, number 4 on that list, Billy Taylor. When I was an assistant coach, I recruited him, didn't sign him, but we went after him at West Aurora High School in the Chicago area. And in talking with Dr. Reed, the coach, he said, I remember going back as far as playing with Hot Wheel cars on the hardwood floor while my dad ran practice. He said, and I started to learn the game, and he charted the stats in his dad's national title game. He said, I was in the locker room almost every game, so I started to have, through osmosis, how to play.
Yep. Has his PhD in instructional technology.
Sounds way too smart for me.
Haley unable to finish in tight, and here's Lehigh with the ball and a 2-point lead again with the nation's leading scorer, CJ McCollum. We were just told during that last timeout, unlikely to return. He was questionable at best, we were told, at halftime. So the night they had 58 NBA scouts in North Texas, he didn't play. As Theus with the steal and the easy basket.
He read it. He's their smartest player. He read that play and stepped right up in the passing lane.
Schaefer against the pressure. Finds Durazio. Knutson the handoff. Difficult shot in close for Schaefer with the left hand. Daniels being watched by Griner.
Big time defense the other end by DJ Haley. Big time.
Now Daniels. Brandenburg. And Knutson a bit too physical with Haley.
That's just understanding the game. That is just a big-time read of the play, step up. Shaka says he's the closest thing, an extension to the coach. That was a coach's play. Reading it, understanding what they're trying to do as they initiate their offense, and boom, gone the other way. Talked about DJ Haley, the big guy, number 33, 7 foot 225. He's lost 40 pounds, was recruited by Harvard. He's a saxophone player, battles asthma, and he also is a piano player. Busy guy.
Knutson sits down with his 3rd personal foul. Well, that's significant for Lehigh. 15 on the shot clock as Brandenburg pulls it back out. VCU with the ball in a tie game here against the Mountain Hawks of Lehigh. Treveon Graham able to knock down the 3-pointer.
He loves to play off the dribble, but he got a good clean look, set his feet, buried it.
McKnight pulls it back out. Lehigh has turned it over 15 times, and VCU has 11 points off those turnovers, but they haven't had many of the steal and easy basket variety like we saw from Theus a few moments ago. Griner for 3. That was short. Had a good look at it. Dan was able to save it.
Couldn't quite get his feet into the shot, his legs.
Treveon Graham again unable to hit that one. And Schaefer has it for Lehigh. Knocked away by Daniels. Turned back over, and a foul committed by VCU. It's going to go against Treveon Graham.
Well, here he comes in transition, trying to get down the court, loses possession of it, and then makes contact. But you can sense that VCU likes the way the game is starting to go in pace.
Third on Treveon Graham. And Reddick already on the bench with 3. And again, unlikely that CJ McCollum, the nation's leading scorer and the all-time leading scorer in the history of the Patriot League, unlikely he'll come back. And Haley with the block.
Great rotation by the big fella.
Whoever thought about a little one-on-one against McKnight? He shouts encouragement to his teammates at the defensive end. Haley turns, difficult left-hand shot. Tries to get the rebound himself, but it's out of bounds. Last touch by Conroy, Baltimore.
It's a big-time block. See how he read it? He took a step to the baseline. Watch how he takes that step and gets that hand up there and get it out of here.
Jared Guest kicks it back out now. Rob Brandenburg over at the scorer's table getting ready to check in. And Stephon Severkai, who has not played yet for Lehigh, getting set to check in as well. Yes, crashing the offensive glass. Good job by Baltimore. And he tried to hand the ball to his teammate B.J. Bailey, but was called for traveling.
Rob Brandenburg returns to the VCU lineup.
Real good effort play on the glass. There comes the loose ball, and he's got it, but he's off balance, and he's trying to hand it. Shuffles both feet. Official right on top of the call. No doubt about it.
Daniels, catch and shoot, too strong. Here's Severkai, a sophomore out of Blue Vale Collegiate Institute in Canada. First time he has seen action in the ball game. McKnight off the high ball screen with a jump stop. Severkai, one extra pass. Griner off balance, draws the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Personal foul is his first number 23.
Lehigh hanging tough on the road. 3-point field goals. Has just been terrific for Shaka Smart. But, you know, we were looking at these two teams coming in that both like to push the pace. Both average around 80 points. There you see right there. VCU coming in just under 80, and Brett Reed's team averaging just over 80 points a game. And neither one of these teams going to get close to that.
That turnover margin, to me, the most impressive number. When you think about, sure, they're going to force you to turn it over, but they want to play at a high pace at the other end, and they still have a huge turnover margin. Very impressive. I believe VCU is a Sweet 16 team, and I don't know if there's a coach I've witnessed other than Brad Stevens that gets his guys to buy into what they're trying to do, their style of play, better than Shaka Smart.
Keep in mind, in the 13-year history of this arena, VCU has only lost 28 games. They win 86% of the games they play on this court. As Brandenburg drives, puts it up and in. He hit one going to his left in the first half, that time to his right.
Again, another tactical defensive error by Lehigh, not closing down on penetration.
A good job by Griner against the pressure from Daniels. Severkai stays in the ball game, number 21. B.J. Bailey. Griner spins. McKnight nearly lost it. And shot clock's going to run out. It was getting late in the shot clock. And I thought McKnight realized it, but when he bobbled the second time, Rob Brandenburg and Melvin Johnson trying to urge the crowd to get into it. That's where he bobbled it there the second time.
Havoc, they force you out of your comfort zone, and you look up, you're 4 down, and VCU has the ball. Lehigh's got to keep this thing in arm's reach. They cannot allow this thing to bump back up like it did in the first half to 10 points.
And again, you saw the terrific numbers. They they have posted here in this arena where they continue to play to sellout crowds. VCU opponents average over 21 turnovers a game. Graham pull-up three, no good. Tip back out, Theus has it fresh. 35 seconds. Now Theus pulls it back out. Treveon Graham with the floater. The rim and in.
Nice job to go side to side. Lehigh did a very good job at closing down the lane on the left side of the bucket. He took it back to the right side and hit the runner.
Double team is coming. McKnight. Nice look inside. Griner lays it up and in.
That's how you beat pressure to score. You don't get it across half court and relax. You attack the goal. That's what they did.
Well, as Shaka was saying, if we get too aggressive on that pressure, Cap, and you lunge for a pass and you miss, when you double team or triple team the ball, that means you're outmanned away from the ball. And Lehigh was able to take advantage of that once they broke through. Graham for three, too strong, underneath, put up and in. Friendly bounce there for DJ Haley.
I thought he missed it when it left his hands. He put it so high up on the board, soft touch, and it fell. Shaka urging his guys on into a trap situation.
One of the things that Brett Reed talked about was his guards keeping the ball in the middle third of the court. You saw BJ Bailey do a good job of it there. Don't get into those areas where it makes it easier for a trapping team to put the pressure on you. And right now, Dr. Brett Reed wants to pull his guys in and talk things over just past the halfway mark of the second half. It's VCU with a 6-point lead. Well, just as we were coming back from break, CJ McCollum came back to the bench on crutches, excuse me, and you could see tears coming down his cheek, and I don't think those were tears of pain. Those are tears of frustration, knowing the great opportunity he had here today with all the NBA scouts on hand. Heavily bandaged left ankle.
Very upset because he said, I came back not to improve my draft stock. He said, I came back because we have unfinished business as a team after beating Duke, and they were beaten in the next round in the NCAA tournament. He's the all-time leading scorer in the history of the Patriot League, and there's been some great players come out of the Patriot League. He's having a tremendous year, and he's right, unfinished business, but it also 32 NBA scouts and GMs here today simply to watch him play.
Missed the first game of his career because of the ankle injury against North Texas a couple of games back. Well, Saverkai was wide open on the weak side. Easy for us to see here because we weren't being double teamed.
BJ Bailey's getting double teamed, and Briante Weber got the hand in and knocked the ball out. He's just very active all the time.
Five on the shot clock. Boy, that's the way you can solve your problems offensively, when you got a guy that can rise up and knock down a difficult three.
Again, to go back to the morning shoot-around, why it's so important to watch teams that shoot around. Dr. Reed said to us, watch 20. Griner. He's going to be a huge factor, Holden Griner, if we win tonight.
And a blocking foul goes against Griner, who just hit the three. And go back and take another look at where we think this injury took place. CJ McCollum with the stop there on the left. It's the left ankle. Well, if you're a lip reader, it certainly looks like he just told a teammate, I broke my foot. Wow.
And that would be just a major blow to Lehigh, and obviously this young man and his future, so bright. But he will be back. He will come back from it, whatever the injury is.
Weber thought about the three, goes to Redick. Back out for Briante Weber, and that is off the iron, no good. Now McKnight pulls up, difficult shot, could not get it to go.
No, he lost his dribble as he made his move, and he was just not comfortable going up.
Nice.
Daniels trying to draw some contact there. Boy, a rare bad miss for him, but VCU stays with it. And Darius Diaz lays it in.
That's the second air ball today that VCU has tracked down and been able to convert into a basket.
But Briante Weber gets so low and sacrifices his body. He got a hand on that, but Lehigh able to get it into the front court. 7:25 remaining here in the second half. 46-41 VCU. Nice baseline cut there by Griner, out of bounds, and looks like it was last touched by Theus. And it
Step aside.
will be Lehigh basketball when we come back. One thing you look for in a young man like CJ McCollum is to get better from year to year, and he has been doing that. But here's where he suffered the injury to his left foot. He came back on crutches and with tears running down his cheek. And it was pretty easy to see that he said right there to a teammate, "I broke my foot."
Very sad. The nation's leading scorer, 32 NBA general managers and scouts here today to watch him. We even saw scouts at practice this morning. He is being monitored, scouted, evaluated all around the country. Everybody wants to know what's going on with CJ McCollum. He's a big-time player, and Shaka Smart said to us this morning, he's better than Stephen Curry, who was a tremendous player and playing in the NBA at Golden State.
Yep, at the comparable points in their career, that's quite a statement. But Shaka Smart believes that, knowing the young man. And, of course, as we mentioned, he really burst on the scene with that 30-point effort against Duke in the NCAA's last spring. Nearly turned over, but Lehigh has it, and McKnight for a three that looks good, and it is good.
If they're going to win, he's going to be the star down the stretch. Mark it down. Mackie McKnight is a warrior.
VCU started the second half, Cap, trying to get the ball inside to Devontae Redick, who had to sit down when he picked up his third foul. Redick is back in the ball game, and a foul here away from the ball.
Got to be on Johnson. He grabbed. There's Mackey stepping up, rainbow jumper, and he buries it.
And again, a career-high 25 points in that game at North Texas, a Lehigh win when McCollum didn't play because of an injured ankle.
And Melvin Johnson just reached out and grabbed the Lehigh defender. Don't know what he was thinking.
Lehigh with 3 team fouls. They were in great shape late in the first half, and they are again here in the late stages of the second half. VCU has 5 team fouls.
You'll notice you don't see as much trap out of VCU when Mackie McKnight brings the ball up, because he beats the pressure and he gets you into your offense.
Double team coming here. Knutson, 16-footer, knocked it down calmly. And Lehigh has come back and tied this ball game. What a story. With CJ McCollum out with the injured left foot as Redick rushes in, and another blocking foul.
Here's Knutson stepping up right at the free throw line. You're not going to guard me. I can make that all day long. And the lefty nails it.
Roommate of CJ McCollum. And incidentally, both of these young men, McCollum and Knutson, up for the one of 30 candidates nationwide for the Class Award for celebrating loyalty and achievement and staying in school. In fact, Lehigh, the only program that has 2 candidates for that prestigious award. So Knutson and Severkai will sit down. Reddick knocks down the free throws. He has struggled hitting just 1 of 6 from the floor. Ryder gets it in, and it's in and out of the hands of Anthony D'Orazio. The 19th turnover. Some turnovers you can understand, Cap, but I think that one, Coach Reed, understandably upset.
That upset Dr. Brett Reed. Catch the basketball, look it into your hands, and catch the ball.
+8 on the turnover margin.
8.5 is their,
that's their
I
number.
believe, their season average.
They only average 12 a game.
Lehigh averages 12 turnovers a game. They knew there'd be more than 12. Brett even said that to us because that's what VCU does to you. He said, we just can't let them magnify and multiply.
Good extra pass. Weber now to Graham. Draws the contact. Couldn't finish. Treveon Graham will go to the line to shoot 2 with his team up by 2.
Justin Goldsboro rotated over. And he leaves his feet. Once he leaves his feet, there's the contact. No doubt about it.
Treveon Graham at the line. 2 shots.
Great environment in here at Siegel Center. Crowd has been into it an hour before their students were in here. So look at Shaka Smart. This semester, he said, 9 players, 3.0 grade point average or better. Best academic semester in the program's history. That's what it's all about, your student athletes.
And the officials have a question. They're looking toward the clock again.
They're satisfied, and we play.
VCU not guarding the inbounder. Did a good job earlier here in the second half, bringing it up against the pressure. He finds Corey Schaefer, and Schaefer pulls it back out with Weber right on him. Schaefer into the lane, knocked away by Reddick, but a foul against Briante Weber on the way through.
Bodied him all the way through the lane. Good call by the officials. He's bodying him all the way, and he gets him on the arm. It wasn't on the shot block. It's on Weber, and that's a really good call.
On VCU, Corey Schaefer, 2 shots.
2 shots here. That is the 16th foul. There's CJ McCollum. And interesting, as I was researching other players that have led the nation in scoring, came across on the internet today is the 25th anniversary of the passing of Pistol Pete Maravich, who,
my all-time favorite.
Oh my God, tragically passed away after playing a pickup game at a church gym in Pasadena, California. Pistol Pete, the all-time leading scorer in Division I history, and did it in 3 years at LSU. Graham, Reddick, difficult pass, and that was read all the way by Mackie McKnight.
Can't make that diagonal pass.
Oh, what a move by McKnight. Short on the glass, but a terrific job on the offensive glass, and then thrown away by Goldsboro, and all the way Brandenburg lays it up and in.
Both guys, McKnight and Brandenburg, both read the play the right way. It turns into a bucket for the Rams. Crowd's alive.
Bailout crowd all on their feet. 4 points is the lead. Reiner to the basket, lays it up before the basket was scored. They'll wave it off, a foul. And that is the 7th against VCU. Lehigh has 5, so they still have 1 more to give.
Team foul number 7 on VCU.
VCU has a 3-headed monster, according to Shaka Smart, Theus, Brandenburg, and Weber. He said those guys drive Havoc. When you and I were leaving shoot-around today, VCU's players came together at the center of the court. Briante Weber looked at everyone and he said, we must protect this house. They're coming in with the #1 scorer in the country. We must respond.
Griner makes 1 of 2. Diaz nearly turns it over. Lehigh has hit 13 out of 18 from the free throw line. Brandenburg kicks it back out. Diaz takes a quick look at the shot clock. 10 seconds now. Nice job by McKnight. Brandenburg pulls up for 3. Air ball. And out of bounds. Last touch by the Rams.
Off of Daniels.
Step aside. 7, 6.
A one-possession game for Shaka Smart's team on their home court. Lehigh on the road again, playing since about 5.5 remaining in the first half without their best player and the nation's leading scorer, CJ McCollum, who left with a left foot injury, came back from halftime on crutches, tears running down his face, and we caught him telling a teammate, I broke my foot. And what a job Lehigh has done in his absence. It's been Griner that's picked it up offensively with 15 points. And we talked about Troy Daniels at the top for VCU, and Lehigh's done a great job against him. He's made just 2 of 7 from behind the arc.
They've done what the late Al McGuire calls verbally passing the scorer along. They always know where he's at. D'Orazio has had most of the responsibility.
And it's been Treveon Graham, along with Brandenburg, that has picked up the scoring slack with Daniels struggling. 10 on the shot clock. Schaefer in trouble. Knutson thinking somebody's got to be open. Down to 2 on the shot clock. Knocked away. And a shot clock violation.
That's Havoc. Out of your comfort zone, you finally step through a double team. And you look up, oh, there's no time left on the shot clock.
21st turnover. That's the average for VCU's opponents all season long. They're right on a lot of their defensive numbers, VCU, but they have struggled in this department. That is shooting, and that's a great look for Troy Daniels. A good job by Reddick coming back to get a hand on that pass that would have surely led to an easy 2. Lehigh down by 3. McKnight wants a clear out against Diaz. Forced it up, but it's laid up and in by Knutson. Right place at the right time.
Nice job as 2 defenders come over to Mackie McKnight. Knutson never slept on the play, went right to the rim.
Well, they've had him in there with his 4 fouls, but they need him, and that's why. One-point VCU lead. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. Three-pointer is no good. Rebounded by Daniels.
Nice job, weak side rebound.
Graham looked inside for Reddick. Daniels steps into that one and knocked it down.
Bucket. It's America's best three-point shooter. You can't let him have an open look like that.
D'Orazio, as he was coming back towards us, looked like he was looking toward the bench saying, I was looking for help.
He's done such a good job talking and always being verbal where he's at. He got a wide open look.
Huge shot here. McKnight couldn't hit it. And out of bounds, last touch by VCU. So it remains a 4-point game. 1:18 remaining. And there was Troy Daniels. Look how far behind that arc he is. But that is well within his range when he sets.
But watch who sets the big screen in there. It's 11. It's Brandenburg. If you run it again, Brandenburg does a magnificent job of creating traffic. It gets the open look for Daniels. Fabulous job by Rob Brandenburg. That doesn't show up in the stat sheet. It will show up on the coach's game chart.
30th three-pointer that Daniels has hit now in his last 4 games, coming off the A-10 record performance when he had 11 on the road at East Tennessee State. Well, again, with no CJ McCollum, it changes things for Lehigh as they try to figure out what to do against Shaka Smart's pressure defense. 4-point game, so certainly don't need a 3.
Okay, watch what 11 does. They're going to swing the ball this way. Now freeze it right here. You take a look and you watch this traffic area right here. He is going to create enough havoc so that gets an open look for Daniels. Fabulous job, and nobody steps out. That's got to be 20. Griner, you got to come out and get a hand up.
Baseline out of bounds. Orazio into the lane all the way, lays it off the glass and in. He got position on Daniels and able to convert. It's a 2-point VCU lead, just over a minute remaining.
Manufactured points designed on an inbounds play. Excellent job, Dr. Reed.
That's instructional technology at its best right there.
Doctor instructional technology to you.
Brandenburg, 12 on the shot clock. Reddick sets the screen. Brandenburg explodes, lays it up, no good. It was off the hands of Griner, but picked up by Knutson.
Looked like he might have got tripped as he was going up.
Boy, a lot of contact. No call, out of bounds. Last touch by VCU. Boy, I thought McKnight was going to kick it to a teammate in the corner, Cap, but he saw a little bit of an opening. And like Brandenburg for VCU, this kid is so explosive. A lot of contact.
And it's the right call. It goes off the foot of VCU. If you watch it again, it hits the foot of a VCU player. Tough to tell who it was, and deflects out of bounds. Crowd doesn't like it, but that, I believe, was an excellent call. Let's take another look again, and we'll see whose foot it comes off of.
That's Graham, Treveon Graham.
It is, and it went right off of Graham's foot. A lot of contact there. It's hard to believe that they did not call a foul on Theus, but it shoots off of 21 Graham's foot. The official right on top of the call.
Yep.
Shot clock off.
Yeah, shot clock is off with 31.8. VCU with 17 fouls.
You've got shooters all over the court for Lehigh. You want to get the ball in Mackie McKnight's hands and let him try and make a move. Maybe either get to the bucket or get a shot.
Schaefer forced it. It was knocked away. And forced a foul on the backcourt is Holden Griner. Boy, Schaefer did a good job to get a little bit of separation, and then once he stopped the dribble.
The catch is that he really needs to give it up right there. I think he was thinking about it, and he waited too long. He hit what we call the moment of truth, line of truth. Once you overcommit, you're in trouble.
And again, Lehigh had a foul to give. That was just their 6th. So VCU will shoot down the next one.
You go what's into called shutdown mode. You look to try and get a steal and shut down your man all over the court, and then give it a few seconds for a steal, then you commit the foul.
Tipped away by D'Orazio. It remains VCU basketball, but a great job by Lehigh on this full court pressure. Dr. Brett Reed talked about the game within the game, the mental toughness, and with everything that his team has dealt with Shaka Smart always throws at the opposition. Dr. Reed's got to be very pleased with the way his team has responded as B.J. Bailey picks up the foul. CJ McCollum again on the bench. Went out with about 5.5 remaining in the first half with that heavily bandaged left ankle and foot.
Nation's leading scorer coming into the game tonight.
Finished with 4 points on 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Was 0 for 5 from the field. Missed both of his attempts from beyond the arc.
Now let's assume Theus makes both free throws. You do not need to go for a quick 3. Attack the rim You may get fouled and make the basket anyway, but get the bucket and stop the clock.
Theus, a 64% free throw shooter, knocks the first one down. And a chance here to make it a 2-possession game. So important, though, if you're Lehigh. If there's a miss here, you've got to get the ball. The dad of Darius Theus, we saw him down in the Bahamas, the battle for Atlantis, carrying that sign, "My son is number 10. He's proud of it. And Theus steps to the line and knocks down 2 huge free throws to give his team a 4-point lead. And again, if you just joined us, and we showed you CJ McCollum a few moments ago, the nation's leading scorer on the bench, and here he is. You can read the lips. "I broke my foot," is what he said to a teammate there on the bench. And when he came back, just a kind of a blank look on his face, tears rolling down his cheeks.
Loneliness right there. He is thinking about his team. He's thinking about this game, but he's also thinking about his future. He's a young man that would have been a first-round pick, according to the scouts last year. He said, "We have unfinished business at Lehigh. I'm coming back to school." And obviously that will creep into his mind now. How does this affect my future? We wish him all the best.
4-point VCU lead. McKnight, this is the guy you want with the ball. And he did take a quick 3. And boy, he says he got hit on the elbow by Darius Theus. And I'm just looking over at Dr. Reed. He's saying we don't need a 3.
Completely agree, Dr. Reed. People panic in late game situations. Now, did he get hit on the arm? He may have.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the hand of Theus got near the ball.
But it's the decision making to pull up from 27 feet and think we've got to have that 3. Inside 10 seconds, I completely agree. You go for the 3 when you're down 3 or more points. But here, you attack the rim.
VCU doing a great job here knocking down free throws. That's one of the things that really hurt them in their game against Duke back in the battle for Atlantis. The tight game in the second half, and at one point VCU, if I remember correctly, missed 6 consecutive free throws. That one was blocked out of bounds by Brandenburg, who gave a salute to the student section behind the basket. Six-point lead for VCU. Lehigh looking for 3 on the handoff. Nicely executed, and McKnight couldn't knock it down. Weber spins away from the pressure. And no basket. The foul is going to be called on Stefan Severkai for a push.
There's the missed shot, and now here comes Weber. Does a nice job to spin out of it. And there's the foul right there. But this one's in the books, and it will go VCU's way. But they're going to go home tonight and say, we didn't play our best, but we were tested by a really outstanding Lehigh club.
Not a bad way to be tested heading into the conference season, which for VCU begins here Wednesday night against Dayton. This free throw, not enough time for Lehigh as Griner's 2-pointer just beats the buzzer for the final margin that will be 59-55. Terrific effort by Dr. Brett Reed, and we can only wait and see what the medical word is going to be on CJ McCollum and how much of this season will be impacted by the injury that he sustained here.